yeah, that's true. And solar cycle 23 was eventful enough. A couple of years ago, we had 9 X-class flares in a single week. But they say solar cycle 24 is going to make 23 look like a walk in the park. And you're right. It reaches its maximum, like a sine wave, right at 2012.
Brooks, I noticed that you also highlight the map, the futuristic map by Gordon Michael Scallion.
Yes, came across that. We actually licensed that to put it in the book. If you look at that map, it shows a lot of water bodies in the U.S. If you're living in Kentucky or Tennessee, if you're living in upper Missouri, lower Illinois, Wyoming, Idaho, Utah, you're pretty much safe. Anywhere south of there, you could be underwater.
And that's going to happen by 2012, according to some.
According to Scallion, it happens about that time. It could be just the beginning of that. Of course, you realize that 90% of the population of the United States lives within 25 miles of a coast, and that includes the major rivers. So if that's the case, you chop off 25 miles of the outskirts of the United States, and you've lost 90% of the population.
Next up, let's go to Ariana in Arizona. Hi there, Ari.
Oh, wow. Hi, that's me.
That's you. My granddaughter has your same name.
Thank you. This is my very first time calling, and I used to listen to Coast years ago, and I haven't tuned in for a very long time, and this was just such a wonderful conversation to have heard. I feel so inspired. Something that I wanted to just, Brooks had mentioned, there's been talk about the ancients.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes.
And basically, I'm putting together information right now for a book, and basically, I'm so nervous.
Oh, that's okay. Relax.
You're doing well.
Down.
You mentioned that there is a group of ancients here on Earth, and that they are awakening right now to bring a piece, sort of a puzzle piece, to mankind. And and I recognize myself as one of these. I had a very tremendous experience when I was 17 years old. I had a complete enlightenment where I actually stepped out of this dimension. Not sure where I went, but I was gone for a couple of hours. The Hindus call that a state of samadhi, or death.
Uh-huh. Did you feel
anyhow,
at that moment like you knew everything?
Knew everything, completely merged.
Yeah.
I actually experienced my what I call my oversoul come down from above me, from a cord.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, I'm on. Go. My kids are up. They want to hear this.
Live radio.
Yeah, and so that I felt my oversoul self come down into my body. And, I mean, this was something that took 5 months preparation. I was practicing. I wasn't a normal teenager. I was practicing martial arts and Qigong, Tai Chi, and also meditation. And that final evening, well, this oversoul came down into my body and merged. And it was like, at that moment, I was completely enlightened, knew all things. It was absolute bliss. I mean, I think it's the highest achievement that there is in physical body.
It kind of dispels all fear, doesn't it?
It did. You really have to go beyond the mind to get to that state. You have to leave everything behind.
You realize that the third dimension kind of traps us in the 5 senses through which we interpret our universe, and these what I call biological transducers. We kind of get used to it, but we're really multidimensional beings, fully capable of grasping the smallest quanta or the creation of planets. And when you get out there where you were and you have this ascension experience, you're never the same, are you?
Never. I agree with that. I don't want you to give away the book at the end, but that is as fascinating as any part of it.
Well,
don't give it away.
I won't give it away. I just want people to know that they are source, that they're not different than the universe. And when you get out there, when you start realizing that the knees we skin and the fingernails that we pound with a nail is only part of the experience of being here on Earth.
You are An explorer, aren't you?
Yes, I am an explorer, and that of the many jobs that I have, and right now I'm just finishing a new biodiesel plant up here in Washington State for the company that I work for.
Don't you stop?
No, I can't. No, it's there's too little time and too many things to do, and it's not that I'm a workaholic. I'm an enjoyaholic, and I explore everything. And I guess the most difficult thing that people have is not focusing. I just try to focus on everything.
Do you take emails from people through your websites?
Oh, absolutely. An email address is on the website. If you want to learn about what we're doing with new energy or what we're doing with biodiesel and algae and cellulosic ethanol, come and find out. Just help us out any way you can. Right now, buy the book, and if you want to buy the DVD about the Hollow Earth expedition, we did part 1 of it. All the proceeds from that go toward the expedition. Be a part of history.
The Arc of Millions of Years, you say this is indeed the final book.
This is the final book, just a little under 2,000 pages between the 3 books. And as I said, if they'll buy Volume 3, we'll send you Volume 1 and Volume 2 in audio. So if you're not a great reader, don't worry about it. I read it for you.
You do know you're going
while you're in your car.
You're going to have to write another one after 2012.
Well, I'm going to write a book about a book called The Lazarus Scrolls. I'm working on that right now. And, of course, we're going to write a series of books while we're at the North Pole. That's we're going to do over 3,000 hours of film in 15 days.
Well, Brooks, my friend, you take care. You keep us abreast of the journeys, okay?
Thank you, and don't forget, we're going to be at James Gilliland's this weekend.
That's right. Absolutely. There's a whole group of you going to be up there.
That's right.
All right, Brooks, thanks so much. For Karis Coburn, Dan Galante, Tom Danheiser, Lisa Lyon, Lex Lonehood, Sean Ladesseur, Ross Mitchell, Ian Punnett, and Art Bell. I'm George Norrie, somewhere out there on Coast to Coast AM. We'll see you on our next edition. Until then, be safe, everyone.